Scientists discover a cure for the deadliest strain of tuberculosis.
Here's a summary of the article.
A new drug regimen cures most patients in just months. 5 years later, Ms. Musamungo, who became the trial's fifth enrolled patient, is now tuberculosis-free. The 3-drug regimen tested on Ms. Musamungo has shown a 90% success rate against a deadly plague, extensively drug-resistant tuberculosis, better known as XDR-TB. On Wednesday, the Food and Drug Administration effectively endorsed the NICS-TB regimen by approving the last of its 3 drugs, predominate, for XDR-TB patients as long as it is used with the other 2 previously approved ones, bedaquiline and linezolid. Gandhi volunteered there during a 1904 bubonic plague outbreak, and Archbishop Desmond Tutu was a tuberculosis patient there in his youth. In the men's ward, dozens of TB patients lay on cots only 2 feet apart. Those with drug-resistant strains slept next to patients with more common strains. Predominate looks like a promising drug, but it's being rushed forward, and we don't want to see the FDA lower the bar for approval. Lindsay McKenna, co-director of the Tuberculosis Project at the Treatment Action Group, an advocacy organization, said in July, her organization and others had asked the FDA to first demand 2 of the most rigorous tests, a head-to-head comparison of predominate against delamanid, a related drug, and a randomized clinical trial in thousands of patients of the NICS regimen versus another used by the WHO. Delamanid also works against XDR-TB but has serious disadvantages, Dr. Howell said. Some patients there who were on the standard 40-pill regimens discouraged him.
This post received a score of 27,888, with an upvote ratio of 97%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Finally, some good news.
If you want to soil it for yourself, we went through this before with MDR-TB and ended up with XDR-TB, basically super tuberculosis and super tuberculosis respectively, the latter being what this article is about, because the second-line drugs used to treat the first one weren't managed properly. The same thing can happen to predominate if the new treatment regime isn't done properly and fully by every patient that receives it.
So basically we just need to figure out the cure for human stupidity and we're good.
There's no cure.
Shit, that is the truth. I had cancer. When the doctors gave me the good news that it was not detectable, I got the urge to not finish my chemo because I lost my hair, my nails were falling off, and I felt like my muscles and organs were sunburned. Thankfully I threw away that stupid idea, but the potential for it was there. Ignorance, weakness, fear, whatever. Some people will always fuck it up for some reason. It's hardwired.
Same. Once my cancer was undetectable, I asked my doctor if that meant chemo was over. He said no.
Big day for the second deadliest strain of tuberculosis.
I'm the captain now.
This isn't even my final form.
120 years too late for Arthur Morgan. Sad face.
I gave you all I had.
Damn it, man. Sad face.
The many miles we walked. Noopy, you stop that.
I stand in shaken.
Pretty sweet. Now if only we could convince people this also doesn't cause autism, we might be able to make some progress.
When I first heard about anti-vaxxers, I thought, life is going to take care of that with the very diseases that they are not vaccinating against. But then I realized that they were of course all vaccinated, but their kids had to suffer. It sucks that it doesn't work the other way around.
They should develop anti-vaccines so that the anti-vaxxers can undo their vaccinations. JK.
We already had a cure for this form of tuberculosis. This is evidence from a single-arm, clinical trial, and should be interpreted with extreme caution. A look at the clinical trial registration leaves some absolutely strange outcome definitions as well. This is why Xenix is underway to see if the regimen is effective when only half the dose of linezolid is given. According to the article, it has a 90% cure rate, which is dramatically higher than the 30% or so rate the current regimens have. Pretty sure RIPE therapy is way more effective than that.
RIPE therapy isn't used for XDR-TB, which is intrinsically resistant to rifampin and isoniazid and other drugs. The 30% cure rate that the other commenter mentioned is likely referring to the cure rate of second and third line drugs that are used for XDR-TB, which are the only options for treatment.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.